Good morning, everybody. It's Michelle here. Hey, I'm just getting ready to walk out the door this morning for a fun-filled day of trainings with all kinds of leaders. I'm so excited. And we just finished our Friday morning leaders call where we were talking about servant leadership. So I promised that I would share a picture with everybody. We talked about many different concepts related to servant leadership, but I want to show you this picture. So if you think about it, servant leadership, typically in regular leadership, what happens is the people at the bottom have the least amount of power and the least amount of rights, right? I mean, they can't make decisions. They typically don't get, the good office. They don't get the high rates of pay, right? And very simply, in servant leadership, what happens is that the people at the bottom get more rights and power, and not to say that the people at top don't, but it's just looked at a little bit differently. Okay, so for example, in the regular one, so if you're at the top, you get all the power, right? You get to make the decisions. You get to tell your team, yeah, thanks for your input, but I'm going to do this anyway, right? You get the corner office, maybe you get the car, pretty much people who are in this regular sort of leadership, they have a motivation to get something, right? I want to climb the ladder because I get more incentives. Well, in servant leadership, what we've been talking about is how people at the bottom actually have the power, more power and more rights. Now, let me clarify this. So it's not like the guy who just got hired this week is making all the decisions in your strategic planning for the next 3 years, okay? Not talking about that. I'm talking about how when you are a servant leader, you are able to recognize that people on your team need to be a part of the decision-making process, and they need to be cared for, and they need to be given opportunities. Okay, so rather than looking at the person at the bottom and saying, I'm so glad you're here, but let me tell you everything you need to do, right? You can empower and serve them. So, maybe you're in a position where you can't give somebody, the highest rate of pay that you'd like to give them, or maybe you can't give them all the perks, right? However, what can you give them? So can you give them a part of you? Can you give them some relationship, right? Can you show them that you care for them? Okay, so when we're talking about giving people on your team more power and more rights, it's not necessarily about money, or it could be about opportunity, right? So maybe you can't advance them to the next level, but maybe you can help them learn something that they've been wanting to learn, whether it be a part of their job or not, right? Maybe you could introduce them to their next mentor. Okay, so the essence behind servant leadership is really looking out for the people that you're serving, helping them to grow to that next level, regardless of what that is, right? And not looking at all of the hurdles or the things that are holding you back from being able to give them more money, more power, right? But saying, what can I do? What can I do with them, and what can I do for them? So I hope that cleared that up a little bit. I hope maybe you can look at your team and start asking you some of those really, maybe for what some of you, it might be some tough questions, right? And as always, if you'd like, reach out to me. I'd love to chat with you and talk about these concepts. So with that, I release you into the wild. Go forth and prosper, and we'll catch you next time. All right, bye-bye.